Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Baldwin County Commission regular meeting. This is the July 21st, 2020 regular meeting. We have Dr. Clint Landry here, who is going to give our invocation, and we will be followed by Commissioner Ball, who will lead us in the pledge. Dr. Landry.
Well, good morning. On behalf of the First Baptist Foley family, thank you for the invitation. To all of our commissioners, I want to assure you of our congregation and our prayers during this season. We know these are unprecedented times, and so rather than preach, I'll just pray. Father, we do come before you this morning. I thank you for these commissioners, for their leadership, and their staffs during these times in the life of our nation, but Lord, even particularly here in the life of our community. God, you've promised us in your word that if any of us lack wisdom, we can come to you and you give it generously without criticizing our weakness. And so, Father, I pray that you would grant these men and women wisdom to know and do your perfect will, Father, to guide this county for the welfare and the good of its citizens, its economy, its health, and, Lord, its overall well-being. Lord, we pray that in days to come we'd see times of refreshing, seasons of hope, Father, and your glory demonstrated in and around us. And we ask this now in Christ's name. Amen.
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 Please stand and join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Mr. Nice.
Madam Chairman, the first item on the agenda this morning is the adoption of the July 7th, 2020 regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion, Madam Chairman, that we adopt those.
I'll second the motion. Second.
I'll take this one over here. I think they came at the same time. Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Ball, seconded by Commissioner Gruber, to adopt the July 7th, 2020 regular meeting minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Madam Chairman, next we'll go into our action items, but before that, we do have one request to remove item BN6 from the Highway Department section. Request to remove BN6 from the agenda.
Okay. B and 6 will be removed.
Madam Chairman, next, and this is resulting from the work session we had, we're requesting consent on items for administration. They are BA1 through BA4.
Have a motion for the
Make a
administration.
motion, we adopt consent agenda for items BA 1 through 4. I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Gruber, seconded by Commissioner Davis, to adopt the administration items BA1 through BA4. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, next week, staff is requesting...
I didn't hear all ayes.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All ayes. Sorry.
Madam Chairman, next is we're requesting consent for archives and history items, BC1 and BC2, please.
Okay.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the archives and history items BC1 and BC2.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Ball, seconded by Commissioner Gruber, to approve the archive items BC1, BC2. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it.
Madam Chairman, next we have the Baldwin Regional Area Transit System items, BD1 through BD4. Again, we're asking for consent on those items.
Madam Chairman, I recommend that we follow administrative and Brat's recommendations for items BD1 through BD4.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Ball, to adopt items BD1 through BD4. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it.
Madam Chairman, next are the budget and purchasing items, BE1 through BE6. Again, as a result of the work session discussions, we're requesting that they be adopted as consent. BE1 through BE6.
Okay.
Madam Chairman, as Finance Director this term, I recommend that we follow staff's recommendation dealing with items BE1 through BE6.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Ball, to adopt the budget and purchasing items BE1 through BE6. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Aye.
Madam Chairman, we have one request from elected officials from the Revenue Commissioner's office. Staff also recommends consent on BJ1.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we accept item BJ1.
I'll second that.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Ball, seconded by Commissioner Davis, to adopt item BJ1 under elected officials' request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it.
Madam Chairman, next is the emergency management items. I believe we have a presentation this morning for that. And this is the Baldwin Moving Forward Working Group recommendations for COVID-19 pandemic long-term recovery. Baldwin together.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Excellent. Thank you for inviting me back this morning. My name is Dana Jepson. I work with Ecumenical Ministries, and I am the chair of Baldwin County VOAD. I'm here representing our Baldwin Moving Forward Working Group, which is a countywide recovery working group formed to plan for the recovery of Baldwin County individuals and families who have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. As you can see, the working group is made up of members from various sectors across our county. Oh, change this slide. Thank you. Baldwin County VOAD, or Voluntary Organizations Active in Disasters, is the lead 501c3 agency of this working group. VOAD has experience in the long-term recovery process through disasters from hurricanes to floods to oil spills. As you can see, various members with various levels of expertise. We know that together we're stronger. So we're just are glad for that collaborative effort. Slide. In addition to Baldwin County VOAD, the stakeholders in our working group, again, represent chambers of commerce, economic development, realtors, tourism, nonprofits across the county, our county commission, and our emergency management agency. As we met as a working group, we discussed what we were seeing in the county right now. We discussed what's going on in order to serve our vulnerable populations, and we found that, as most of you know, our county is suffering from high unemployment, our businesses are suffering from lost revenues, and our social service agencies are doing their best to meet the needs of the community. VOAD, as I said, has a experience in this. And if you'll go to the next slide, we have a needs assessment so you can see what the social service agencies are experiencing right now. Those numbers are kind of small, but what they represent are a stark increase from 2019 to 2020. Many of our new needs are from people we've never seen before, folks who have never experienced hardship or having to reach out to the social service agencies. And we're all doing our best to meet those needs, but it's come to our attention that in order to continue, even though our community has been generous with us, in order to sustain this assistance, we are going to need a method for collaborative case management. We're going to need to come together and work together even more than we already have. That's going to need to be done through case management. You can go ahead and change it. That's okay. What we decided to do is form a long-term recovery group. And long-term recovery groups generally respond to disasters, and this is a disaster, even though it's a different type. We have prepared a plan for a coordinated countywide framework to assist and support the residents of Baldwin County in recovery from the economic, sociological, and emotional impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. We're going to do this through long-term recovery case management. We will be able to assess the current needs and provide referrals and assistance and identify unmet needs and track data. So there will be good numbers coming out of this project of where our Baldwin County residents are and how we can help them move forward towards stability. Go ahead. This is our program budget. We will need dollars for case management personnel. We have, on this slide, you can see that a lot of our stakeholders have already agreed to participate in kind. That is how we get work done in the nonprofit world. We all band together and offer up what we can. But we have thought this through. We have considered where we can cut corners. And if you'll go ahead and hit the slide. We're asking that the county commission help us fund the personnel costs of $50,000. We are going to work through Community Action Agency of South Alabama as our fiscal sponsor. So that appropriation would go to the Community Action Agency of South Alabama in two pieces, $25,000 now, and then $25,000 after a 6-month review showing that the program is viable. We will use Privacy Pantry space as office space for our case managers. We believe that that's important because every week they have residents of Baldwin County in their building who are seeking assistance. So meeting them where they are so that we can provide that referral without sending them all over the place, we feel like is the most effective method to help our families. We'll also be available to meet remotely if individuals have a hard time getting to Spanish Fort. We will meet them where they are. This is a really brief piece of what we've been up to, but I wanted to make sure that you were all aware of the work that's gone into this and see if you have any questions going forward.
Okay, thank you, guys. Does anyone have any questions for Dana?
Dana, I just appreciate, y'all working, getting this thing going and working with it. I think it's going to be a great thing for our citizens to help them getting some relief that they're looking for and can't find. And I appreciate y'all stepping forward.
Thank you.
Did you want to say something, Joe?
Yes, Dana, I want to, as my colleague mentioned, thank you and your organization. I think it's very significant that in good times, bad times, questionable times, that we all volunteer and work together and don't worry about credit, try to avoid blame, but try to move things forward. And I genuinely appreciate, and I hope and think you do, us having a chance to sit down and talk through things is the way you get things done. And I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Madam Chairman. I'm going to finish mine with a motion, so.
Okay, just wanted to thank you. This is taken a lot of you guys' time, and you went back to after you came to us the first time, you went back and adjusted a lot of things, and it even came out even better than before, I believe. So I'm confident that the people that are involved in this are the people who know what to do, and I appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dana, for everything. Thanks for giving us a chance to go back to the drawing board and come up with new ideas, and it turned out to be very good. With that being said, Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we adopt item BK1 as we approved it yesterday in our meeting.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Ball, seconded by Commissioner Davis to adopt item BK1. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Okay.
Madam Chairman, next is the environmental management. We have one item, BL1, Baldwin County Solid Waste Uncollectible Residential Accounts. And staff is also requesting consent on that.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion we adopt staff's recommendation on BL1.
Okay.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Gruber, seconded by Commissioner Davis to adopt under environmental management item BL1. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it.
Madam Chairman, next is highway. Again, staff, after the discussion at the work session, staff is requesting consent on items BN1 through BN5. As you may recall, we removed BN6 beginning of the meeting to this morning, but again, we request consent on BN1 through BN5.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we adopt staff's recommendation on items BN1 through BN5.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Gruber, seconded by Commissioner Davis to adopt the highway items BN1 through BN5. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
Madam Chairman, next is personnel. We have three items. Staff is requesting consent on items BQ1 and BQ2.
Okay. Items BQ1 and BQ2. Do we have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we accept staff recommendations and approve BQ1 and BQ2.
Okay. Have a second?
I got second that.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Gruber to adopt the first two items, BQ1 and BQ2, under personnel. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
Madam Chairman, the third item in personnel was BQ3. This is the salary survey, and I believe there's a discussion that was going to be had regarding the salary survey. This is kind of resulting from the work session yesterday. And so that item would be up for discussion.
Commissioners?
Yes, Madam Chairman, went home, basically spent the rest of my day yesterday looking at this and going over this, coming up with what I thought was an idea that everybody would agree on. I'm going to make a motion in regards to trying to move this salary survey along. At the time that we want to have discussion, we can have discussion about it, but I'm just going to basically plug in here what the staff recommendation was yesterday, and I'm making a motion to approve the Evergreen Solution Salary Survey results and promote option number 3 with the reduction of the health insurance premiums to the dollar amount of $50 for single coverage and $330 for family coverage. All the rest of the option is unchanged.
Okay, so we have a motion for option 3, which actually is on
And if
page
you want me to,
527.
Bo, do you want to explain option 3 real quick?
Option 3 on 527, that's the one we're talking about, right?
Right.
Okay,
So option 3, bring to minimum, is what the recommendation will do. It will adopt the new pay scale. It will abolish the step plan and go to a open range, and then begin a pay for performance incentive evaluation method. And then also it will reduce the health premiums, as you were saying, to $50 for family and, $50 for single and $330 for family. What the bring to minimum does is it brings the salaries to a new minimum. A total implementation cost is $90,000, and what it does is it brings the grades up to where we're minimum in the salary range now. To be competitive, we are on those that are lower end, and we're not competitive. It actually brings them up to being competitive.
okay, all right. Is there any discussion about the motion, or do I hear a second?
I'd like to point out that this process has been going on for a number of years, and it also addresses kind of at the beginner end of our pay scale some needs. That does not preclude us from addressing other aspects later on. So it's not a take it or leave it, this is the only thing. That's my take on it. And that what we want to be able to do is make sure that we're competitive at the upper echelon of our employees with counties of comparable size and activities. This helps us deal with our attrition rate and turnover rate of people that come in at a lower level, and we train them up, and then they go to the marketplace and possibly go work elsewhere. If they're good, we want to keep them. And if they're not good, we wish them well in other endeavors. So that being said, unless there's other discussions, I would second the motion.
Okay, we have
Madam Chairman, I just wanted to make one quick discussion statement as far as Commissioner Davis said, this has been a long process. We budgeted to have a salary survey done. We paid to have a salary survey done. The results came in, and now it's time to implement something to get this started. And we had several things to choose from, and this is a great starting point that, as Commissioner Davis said, later down the road, we could definitely build on to, add to whatever other incentives we want to. So this is a starting point in the right direction, hopefully to boost morale up within this organization and to, not kick this can down the road anymore. That today's the start. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any comment?
I just would, same thing, this is something that's been long due, and, it is a start. I'd like to see us, if we'd have went to option 4, tier 3, which is just a couple of $100,000 more, but, it would have covered a little bit more, some of those areas that's not going to cover in option 3, but that's, it's a beginning, so.
Okay, and I will make a comment on this. I feel like that our employees are one of the most valuable thing that we have here at Baldwin County. Our staff we have a lot of experience with all the employees that we have in both the county commission umbrella and the sheriff's office, probate judge, the revenue commissioner. If you added up all those years of experience, I can't even imagine how many years of experience that we have. But a lot of the new people that are coming here, what I've been witnessing just in the short time that I've been a commissioner is that they get here, they get trained, and they just can't stay because our wages are not competitive enough. And so I'm hoping that this will begin to bridge that gap and that we won't lose people to even surrounding municipalities and other local businesses. And with that said, we have a motion and we have a second.
Yes.
And we've all had some discussion. Is there any more discussion from the commissioners? Hearing none, all those in favor to adopt option 3? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. I didn't repeat the motion exactly, but it was as Commissioner Ball said. Option 3 with the single at 50 and family at 330. Okay. All right. Next we have.
Madam Chairman, next we have public hearings. We have one public hearing. This is case number LV-20004, alcohol license application for Fort Morgan Marina LLC, doing business as Fort Morgan Marina. Staff recommendation is as follows. Consider the transfer application of 050 retail off-premise only and 070 retail table wine off-premises only license for the Marina Holdings LLC, doing business as Gulf Shores Marina at Fort Morgan Marina LLC, located at 1577 Highway 180, Suite B, Gulf Shores, Alabama 36542, and approve the issuance of said license by the Alabama Alcohol Beverage Control Board if the public hearing does not reveal a legitimate reason to deny the application.
Okay. We'll open the public hearing. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on this case?
We do not.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public signed up to, okay, you said no one signed up to speak. Okay. Is there anyone that didn't sign up to speak that wants to speak on this case? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Public hearing's closed.
I make a motion that we approve LV 20004 alcohol license application for Fort Morgan Marina LLC, doing business as Fort Morgan Marina.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Gruber, seconded by Commissioner Davis to approve case number LV-20004. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 The ayes have it. Commissioner Davis, your turn.
Yes. We'll be paying bills of $3,151,700.73, with the exception of vendors' commission requests to be pulled. Item 71, I request that be pulled. Of this amount, the $3 million, we'll be paying $425,492.37. That's payable to the Bowen County Board of Education. And $25,064.73 is payable to the Gulf Shores School Board as for their portion of the county sales and use tax.
Madam Chairman, I second Commissioner Davis's motion with the direction of him to pull item 71.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Davis and seconded by Commissioner Ball to approve the item EA1, payment of the bills, with the exception of item number 71. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we pay item number 71.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Ball, seconded by Commissioner Gruber to pay item number 71. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Let the record reflect that Commissioner Davis has abstained from this vote.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, next is the notification of interim payments approved by the clerk treasurer as under policy 8.1. Staff recommendation is to make the attached interim payments made by the clerk treasurer totaling $2,540,637.67 and make that part of the minutes.
Okay. Do we have any commissioner requests?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
I believe we do have an addenda.
Yes, Madam Chairman, we do have one addendum. This is should be at your desk. This is a request for waiver of sales tax penalty. And staff recommendation is to approve sales tax penalty waiver request for taxpayer number 26299.
Okay.
Staff recommends approval.
Make a motion and we approve staff's recommendation.
And I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Gruber, seconded by Commissioner Davis to waive the sales tax penalty on this addenda item HA1. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Any administrative report?
Madam Chairman, we have two things I want to mention real quickly. First of all, I want to thank you all for the salary survey. I want to thank Deidre and her office and all the hard work she put into that. That has been going on for quite a while with a lot of information, and I know from the staff's perspective, we appreciate that, and we very much appreciate the Commission's thoughts on that. It does fill a need we have in the county. As you know, the employees, we have a lot of great employees, and I think that means a lot to them and can get them, some of them get them to a point where it's we can maybe retain them a lot longer. So we, again, from the staff's perspective, want to say we appreciate that. The other thing too, I wanted to discuss is there's been some questions and some discussions regarding sales tax and some of the payments, and I'm going to ask Ron to come up and kind of brief you guys on that. There's been some discussions regarding past due and some things like that, and I think Ron can help shed some light on that.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, Commissioners. Yes, there's been some requests about how sales tax is handled through this COVID, how sales tax is collected throughout the county. Just as a brief rundown, sales tax is a public trust tax. It's not like an income tax. It's not like a property tax. The businesses collect that tax from the public and hold it in trust to remit to the various taxing entities. In the case of Baldwin County, all use tax is split for education purposes, all use tax. So it's split between the Board of Education and the Gulf Shores City Board of Education. So, and that's on the use tax. On the sales tax side, the county gets a little bit of it, Coastal gets a little bit of it, the district attorney gets a little bit of it, but the vast majority of it, again, goes to education. And again, that's what I'm saying, this is a trust tax. In other words, the public trusts the business to hold the tax in remittance, to hold the tax in reserve and remit it to the county. When these taxes are not held in reserve and not remitted to the county, this creates a liability on the businesses, on the business entity itself. Some businesses oftentimes will get into financial difficulty and will be holding these taxes in arrears. And again, it's a public trust tax. It's not a ad valorem tax, not a income tax. And some of these businesses, the department has a audit staff, the state audits as well. And from these audits, we will determine what the tax liability is, and we'll actually have to go after these again, because this is a public trust. Not an income tax, not a property tax. The public trusts the business to hold these monies in arrears and remit them to the county. And so there are about 16 companies, businesses that have been in arrears. The department extends several methods of collection. One would be all taxpayers are allocated are allowed a payment to be able to set up a payment plan of 1, 2, or 3 years. The interest rate on the outstanding balance is determined by the State Department of Revenue. If the business does not have the ability or does not pay the tax, the department will literally take the business to court in an effort to collect these taxes. Liens will be placed on businesses, and in the fact of if you don't show for the court appearance, there will be warrants issued as well. Again, this is because it's a public trust tax. So we continue to work these issues. I know businesses fell on some difficult times during the COVID issue, and the department, we've done everything in our power to work with them. The State Department of Revenue allowed a deferral program through June 1st. I want to commend all of the businesses that did have to take advantage of the deferral practice, but for the vast majority of them, they have caught back up. Very proud of them. Our business community is our lifeblood. It drives our economy. Like I said, they're out of about 8,000 tax returns that we process every month. There's going to be a handful that have not done what they're supposed to do. So just wanted to kind of review that, where the tax comes from and where it goes, and what the department's efforts are on the collection process associated with this. And I do want to extend my sincere thanks to all the businesses out there that play by the rules and follow the rules and do an exceptional job of funding. Again, the vast majority of this is for education purposes.
Okay, thank you. I can't help but when you start talking about taxes, as those of you who don't know, I'm a CPA and I've spent most of my life preparing the returns for businesses and people like that. And I always would tell the clients that I knew of that collected sales tax, I said, you are a fiduciary of these taxes. You are being held responsible for prudently taking care of this money that is not your money. You're just holding it. And I would always tell them, you know what, you might cheat on your income taxes. That's between you and the good Lord and IRS. I said, or whoever entity. I said, but when you cheat on sales taxes, that is theft. And I said, don't ever do that. And I said, you know, when you go into a store and you buy this bottle of water and it costs you $1 and you pay $1.10 and you're holding my 10 cents, you better pay it by the next month. So that's the biggest thing, is that, you know, you're holding somebody else's money in trust, just like you said, but you're a fiduciary of that money. So thank you for that explanation. Anybody else?
Yes, I want to commend Ron and Wayne and Kyan Harrison. As finance chairman, we convened a meeting and we discussed this very topic. Part of what we're preparing for going into the budget is receivables and payables. Who owes us and who do we owe? And we cannot fill a pothole or staff the sheriff's office with an IOU. The businesses that are doing it correctly, we want you to know that we very much appreciate that. Those that are in trouble, most of them were in trouble before the COVID. So this is not a COVID-related thing. This is a business transactional sort of thing. And we take it very seriously. And in order for the ones that do it right to continue doing it right, they need to know that if you don't do it right, there are consequences. Some things that we can do, some things that we aren't allowed to do because we can only do what the Constitution or the legislature authorizes us to do. But it is imperative that we work with all of these entities. The 16 that you were referring to, $650 million.
$250,000.
I mean, $1,000, excuse me. Let's hope not. Let's hope
I hope it's not that large.
No, it's about those 3 zeros. I added 3 more than I should have.
Pull a SWAT team on that one.
Here's what I want to point out. The request for that was for anybody, any organization that was more than 120 days in arrears and owed us more than $20,000. There are others that are just short of that, either in time and dollars. We're not anti-business because, as you stated, Ron, we're very much dependent on our businesses and we want to work with all of our businesses. But I want the ones that are doing it correctly and doing it timely to know that we're pursuing those that aren't in every manner that we can that's legal. And we appreciate, and I appreciate y'all bearing with me in that meeting and having those discussions. And I want the public to know that we'll be periodically reporting back to you on the status of that. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Okay, all right. Is that all for the administrative?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, county attorney? No report. No report? No executive sessions and none of that stuff? Woohoo! Next, we're at public comments. We have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, ma'am. We have 2 people signed up to speak. The first person is Paul Ripp.
Mr. Ripp, come to the podium.
Francis Paul Ripp with the Ripp Report, a not-for-profit consumer association. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
A couple of things I'd like to follow up with you in a work session later. But, you know, consumers in Baldwin County, the biggest paper around right now is the Lanyap. And for months, they've been writing articles about this straw man in the Baldwin County sewer and what's going on. And yet it's not being addressed by anybody. Now, I know it can be a sensitive issue because we've got a past county commissioner who ends up being the straw man. And we got Baldwin County Sewer, whose owner is in Costa Rica. And we have no regulations in Baldwin County on the sewer. You can do this through ordinances. I lived in Central America. I can tell you, I can't even begin to tell you, bankers, lawyers, multimillionaires that fled down there, they get the residency card, then they get their citizenship. You ain't getting them out of there. But you're in a situation here in Baldwin County where we're experiencing all this growth, and the consumers have no protection on these sewer regulations, and the person that's supposed to be in charge of the regulations is in Costa Rica. I mean, in charge of the business is in Costa Rica. And then you have this straw man article that is outlining outright fraud. I mean, this is land fraud. Somebody should be looking at it criminally as well. But the consumer, we're running a bunch of social media sites. So we're hearing from people that are saying, well, how do we know it's true? Nobody's saying anything. Nobody does anything. So I hope that you'll look at that, at that straw man series. It is a series. You can go to it and you can read it from beginning to end. The Baldwin County sewer thing is an extremely serious matter. Legislatively, or somebody's got to get behind this and get some regulations in the county on the sewer. It's going to get away from you, I assure you. The other thing is, and this is an observation, the last 10 years, the largest amount of money that Baldwin County spent was on the mega site. I think everybody will agree that has been pretty much a failure up to this point. Now we're talking about spending the same amount of money, likewise, for a jail system, 640 beds. How is that helping the consumer and the citizens of Baldwin County? This is the second largest expenditure that you've ever had, and it's going to go to a jail facility. I would look at maybe putting the jail out at the mega site, contacting the state, and see if you can put a prison out there if you want to do it. But we're not going anywhere with this. If you building a larger jail, what's the incentive of the larger jail? Fill it up. What's next? Another jail. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. I think you should look at the back end. Now you got to construct it, and it's operating. How many people is it going to take to operate that thing? What's the maintenance? What's it going to cost us every single year? And how might things change to where we don't need a jail or a conventional jail is not of use, like the COVID thing? We're letting people out of jail. So I find that very confusing, and I hope that the commission will look at this before they go forward. That's a lot of money, and you don't want it to become another mega site. The other thing is, I see things with economic development, and I'm not sure if economic development gives you the Alliance gives you a quarterly or, what type of report that they give you. The only time I see economic development is when they want money, okay? I would like to see economic development have to come up here quarterly and give a public report as to what have they accomplished in that quarter. What have they done? What have they brought in? What are they working on? And some type of checkoff list, because sometimes I've seen it on a blog site that economic development awarded $2.5 million to an aviation company that's been in business 8 years and has 5 employees. I'm going, what? How is that? And they're going to add 5 employees. You're going to give them $2.5 million bucks. That's economic development. So I've got a lot of questions on that. I only saw that on the blog site, not reported anywhere else. Last but not least, and a little bit lighter note, the Magnolia Landfill. That operation out there is perfect. I'm telling you, those people are really good and they're on top of the job. And I say that from years of observations. But one thing I noticed is, and it drives me nuts, people throw away kids' bicycles. I mean, you'll go out there and see 15 bicycles laying there. I just don't know if there's a police organization, a fire department, or somebody that rebuilds bicycles, but it just bugs me that all those bikes are sitting there and nobody's doing anything with them and they're scrapping them. So I know you recycle paint, you recycle batteries, and it's a very, very, some of them, I don't think they have anything more than flat tires. I appreciate it. I hope everybody stays safe. Wear a mask.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have anyone else signed up to speak?
Madam Chairman, we have one more. Harry Still III.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here to speak about private sewer regulation in Bowen County and to dance with Brad a bit, your county attorney. The Code of Alabama, Title 22, Section 25B, the regulation of private utilities in Alabama, says generally that the Public Service Commission will regulate these entities. Unless, of course, you have a constitutional amendment that applies only to your county, and that's covered under Title 22, Section 25B, 12C. Our constitutional amendment says Bowen County will create their own regulations, okay? So what it doesn't address is what happens in the meantime. So generally, the Public Service Commission would have regulated a rate protection scheme so that Bowen County Sewer Service couldn't go from $30 a month to $55 a month like they did recently. None of these consumers have any recourse. It has been laid in your lap for more than a decade to come up with some regulation, and the only thing that you have done is to make it compulsory for people to hook up to this private sewer if it's available in front of their house. So I'm here to ask, are you ever going to get around to regulating private sewer in Bowen County? I want you to put it on your work session as an agenda item. I'd like for your attorney to be up to speed and be able to answer some serious questions about it. And just so you know, there's I want to say it's Glen Lakes is the ringleader, Richard, can't think of his last name. And they are, a lot of these homeowners associations are collectively suing Bowen County Sewer Service, and I'm really surprised that you're not a co-defendant, quite frankly. The only other thing I'd like to talk about, and this is my bureaucrat ears perking up, did you just do away with your entire personnel system? No. Your step and, you said you were doing away with step and grade. So who decides if it's a job that's a range of 20 grand to 35 grand, who decides where in that range that person's paid? Am I just misunderstanding what I heard? The option 3 that you made a motion on, Commissioner Ball.
We'll be happy to get staff to go over that with you. Our
Okay. Well,
HR director's out with sickness right now.
okay. And the only other thing I'd say is whenever somebody mentions the word immigrant in Baldwin County, the sheriff and 2 commissioners get on a plane and fly to D.C. I would suggest you do the same thing about COVID testing here in Baldwin County. There's no way that there are only 1,000 people with COVID in Baldwin County. It's just not possible, or 1,400, whatever the number was today. It's because we are not testing. That's what it is. And I know that recently, to your credit, I did see some recent activity about more testing being available. Is it Tuesdays in Robertsdale?
It's available 5 days a week at the PZK in Robertsdale
There you go.
in the mornings, and there's no appointments required, but you do have to meet the testing requirements.
So if I'm feeling well and don't have a temperature, I can't get a test.
Well, they have requirements, and I'm not so necessarily sure what those are, but we can get staff to get you what those are. Okay. But that is administered by the Alabama Department of Public Health, but we're just trying to, okay.
So the request is, please put this on your next work session as an agenda item, because it's something that you, as responsible elected officials, need to be able to answer to these 29,000 customers of Baldwin County Sewer Service. And the Constitution of Alabama says you 4 people are responsible for regulating them.
If you'll get with our staff, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is anyone else signed up to speak?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else that's here that didn't sign up to speak from the public, I will give you an opportunity if you would like to speak. Okay. Next, any press here? No questions from the press. Okay. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Gruber?
I'll start the last time, go down. Or start in the middle. Start in the middle.
You want to start with, we'll start with Joe today.
Okay, Joe,
Okay,
it's your
all right.
turn to go first.
Good. I want to thank the staff for doing their job. I want to thank the citizens for giving us feedback on things that are on their minds and hearts. I also want us to be mindful that we're in very different times. The COVID process, and that's what I'm referring to it, can lead us down a series of roads. And we need to make sure that we do what we feel is right for our family, for our neighbors, for our coworkers, and for, in our case, our colleagues and the general public. It's very important for us to know that as we move forward, and hopefully there will be cures or things that can be done to stop this COVID. But we get into November, December, and January, and the traditional flu season. We're all going to have to be extra careful about how we interact with everyone. Now, in order to move us forward, we need to be mindful of everyone. And in the times that we're in now, it's critical for us to look inward and make sure we're doing what we should do within our own hearts. And then I encourage everyone, if you're passionate about anything, become a volunteer in that area. It will make things better. You will learn more and will get more done. Volunteerism is one of the things that makes this country very unique. The whole 501c3 structure and all of that was to provide a mechanism to make things happen. And as a county commission, our staff, the topics that we've talked about, you got to remember where I'm coming from. I was on the city council. A city can do darn near anything it chooses to do. A county can only do what the Constitution and the legislature specifically permits us to do, and do it the way they tell us to do it. So there are a lot of things that I personally would like to see done a little different, but there's also a reason for this process. So my encouragement to all of us is let's look inward. Let's do all the things that we can do to make things better going forward. And I can assure you that this panel up here is very much interested in hearing from you about your thoughts on any and everything, because I can assure you that we do here. And that's part of our job. So continue to share with us your thoughts and ideas. And I'm just tickled to be a small part of a very big effort. And remember, I refer to this county as paradise. We're going to be one more thing. Got to do my census talk. We're going to be the 4th largest county in the state of Alabama. Find me another county that's going to be that big that doesn't have a city of 30,000. You won't find one. So that makes us unique. We're the largest geographically, so that makes us unique. We're 10 years older than the state, so that makes us unique. And the fact that most of the people that live here aren't natives of here, but ask them how and why they came here. And to me, this is paradise, and our job is, as we get bigger, let's get better at everything we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we either go that way or this way.
I'll go. I mean, I'll be real brief. I just wanted to, again, thank the staff for what they do. I wanted to highlight a certain group that works with us, our EMA department, for what they're doing on a daily basis to keep everybody up to speed, along with our Public Information Officer, Sherry Lee Botop, with just all the information that we get on a daily basis, keeping up with the current pandemic while juggling all the other stuff that EMA has to juggle, like storms brewing in the Gulf and all that stuff. This is the first time, I think, of course, we went through BP oil spill, and that was taxing in other ways, but this right here is a nail biter every single day, that we get numbers, that we are looking at how we can best protect our citizens in the community. And I just want to thank Zach and his staff for everything that they have been doing to lead us up to where we are today. And regardless of what the numbers reflect, I think we have been doing an outstanding job as a county as a whole when it comes to this pandemic. And we've been following every guidelines and orders that has been laid out for us, and I don't think you could do a better job. So with the ramping up in the testing sites and all that stuff, I mean, we're going to get there, and it's hard to keep up with now, but I think one day we'll get there, and I appreciate everything that what y'all do, and I enjoy working with y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to tell the staff and everyone, thank you so very much for, what y'all are doing, and thank you to the committee that worked so hard on this almost 4-year project with the salary survey. I'm glad that, that we got something started for the employees, because they are the ones that's taking care of this county, and they deserve to be taken care of. And also, on a sad note, I just got notice that Lloyd Turner, a longtime employee with Baldwin County, he actually worked with the highway department. He was the accountant with a highway department, passed away in his sleep last night. So I just want to send to his family, condolence, and it's going to be tough for them. Lloyd was a great person. He was an avid biker. He rode bicycle. I mean, him and his wife would ride 30 miles and more a day, so I mean, they were very active in that, and they were active in the community stuff. So I want to just, send them condolences. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I only had one thing when I got here, but I've added to it because I just got a message that said that Thomas Hospital is opening tomorrow for 5 days a week from, 8 to 4. at the hospital for testing. So that expands our testing availability. That's great news. Also, last Friday, I had an opportunity to travel over to the Mobile EMA building and along with our EMA director and staff to meet the administrator from FEMA, which is Administrator Pete Gaynor. And it was nice to be able to meet him when we weren't under a hurricane situation. I know we're under a state of emergency with COVID, but usually when FEMA comes around, it's usually when our infrastructure's torn to shreds. So it was good to be able to talk with him and meet with him. And the message that we want to send out to people is that you need to be prepared and start thinking about your plans early this year because COVID has not gone away. I wish we could snap our fingers and it would be gone. Obviously, that's not happened. And so with that, there's going to be, I know that we're a last resort shelter type county anyhow, but there will be fewer because of social distancing and things like that. And we do have a tropical disturbance potentially that could turn into something. I've always said we are Hurricane Alley right here where we are. I know the whole Gulf is, but right in the top of it is where we exist. So please, people of Baldwin County, Mobile County, right here, have your plans in place. Sometimes your finances and resources predict where you can leave and go, but have your plans in place. If you got family members that live upstate or north of here or whatever, have something in order, and your pets as well. Go ahead and have something lined up just in case, because sometimes we get good warning and sometimes it's quicker than we know, because we knew when Michael came, it was heading right at us and it took a turn. So we could have been in the same shape that they're in, that they were in down in Mexico Beach and Panama City in that area. And the last one's just kind of a little cute note that I wanted to share with you guys. Excuse me, let me get some water here. That frog out of the throat. Went to the grocery store Sunday afternoon, and when I was walking out of the grocery store, it was hot. And, I'm all masked up, when the guy that worked there was a young man. He said, "Can I take your groceries out for you?" That probably narrows it down to which grocery store I was at, but you don't know what city. But anyhow, I said, "Sure, come on." And so we're walking out the door, and he's a young guy, and he's very friendly, and he's like, "Wow, I had to get a second job. This COVID thing is like, my regular job, just not getting as much work, And I said, "Well, were your hours cut or?" "No, ma'am, I'm a mechanic at a certain establishment." And I said, "Oh, are you paid by, incentive?" He said, yeah, I'm paid on how much work we do. And a lot of people aren't bringing their cars in because they're safer at home, kind of a deal. And I said, "Oh, okay, well, he goes, "How about you? Has this COVID thing really rocked your world?" I said, "Whew, yeah, I got more than one job too." I said, "Yeah, it's been tough." I said, "There's no blueprint for a pandemic." And he's like, yeah, "What do you do, ma'am?" And I said, "Well, I'm an accountant." "Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a farmer's wife. I have to help him. And I'm an elected official." I usually don't tell people that unless they already know who I am, because you never know what you're going to get into. He goes, "Wow, so that means you had to get elected, right?" And I said, Yes. He goes, So what? What do you do?" I said, I said, "Do you live in Baldwin County?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I'm a county commissioner." He goes, "Ma'am, I have no idea what that is." I looked at him and I said, "Well, when I was your age, I didn't know either." So with that, I said, "You stay safe and have a good day." And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And I'll second that at 9:29
All right.
a.m.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.